guys? Welcome on into Drinks with Binks. I'm Julie Stewart-Binks, and we have been so fortunate to be able to watch so many sports going on right now. We are anticipating a great World Series matchup. We just got off seeing the Lakers win the NBA Finals, and we are in the thick of it in the NFL. And with that, we're very excited to be able to welcome in a current NFL player with the Miami Dolphins linebacker Jerome Baker, who also played for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And we today, you're on a bye week. We're very fortunate to be able to get you in season right now. And what are we drinking today, Jerome? What's on tap?
Today I'm just drinking my favorite water. It's Eternal water. It's kind of my go-to. I think it's my go-to because of the bottle, how it looks. It's just a cool little thing I just pick up and grab and go.
I love it. I usually base what kind of wine I drink on what the bottle looks like, just because that's what catches your eye. And I'm also drinking some water. I got one of those like timed water bottles because if I don't, I'm decent. We're shooting this at 2:30 in the afternoon. I got some work to do. Haven't gotten all the way down there, but we're hydrating here because it is the NFL season, even though it's a bye week. And I have to ask you, so it's a bye week for you, Jerome. What does that look like? Because it's very different this year because you can't travel anywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty much just quarantine, honestly. Pretty much sitting in the house, playing with my dogs, playing video games, just really recovering my body. Just trying to get, healthy as possible and get ready for the rest of the season.
And speaking of recovering your body, you have also been working with B1 Patch.
Yes. I've been working with them for, it's been years since I was at Ohio State. So it's a patch you just put on. I got to the point I basically put on like 4, 2 on my legs, 2 on each leg. It's just a patch that just kind of just keeps you going, gives you a little burst of energy, just really keeps you healthy. I know they just came out with this study. It boosts your immune system. So, with everything with the COVID and everything, it definitely helps you with that. I've been apart with them for quite some time now. So it's definitely been good.
That's great. Okay, well, we'll, at the end of the show, let people know where they can find the B1 patch so that they stay healthy. And you were just telling us that despite being a bye week, you're still getting tested. Yeah. I mean, how many tests have you had at this point?
I had a test every day since August, 24th or something like that. So pretty much every day.
Does it get any better? Does it get any easier?
Oh, yeah, it's not. It's nothing now. I kind of just go in there and get it done and continue my day.
Yeah. So what a weird season to have. Of course, with everything that's going on in the world, but then trying to play football during it. What's it been like for you and for your team to have a season during a global pandemic? Yeah,
it really just, we're just really thankful as a team. Football is our getaway, our vacation from the outside world. So that's how we really approach it. We just kind of get away from everything else and focus on what we have to do. And when we step off the field, that's when we come back to reality. But football for me, especially for me, it's my getaway. It's my place of peace. So I really enjoy just the few hours I do have just playing football and just worrying about football.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like that when you're watching it. It's like, oh, that's the world we used to know. It feels it's normalized in a way. But what's something maybe that fans or, us watching that we couldn't possibly understand about what it's like for players to go through this? Like something behind the scenes of how you've had to adapt during this pandemic that's made things either maybe a little bit more difficult.
I think for us is, just football players in general, we have to go through a lot of safety precautions. At the end of the day, it's still a game. It's still something we love. But at the end of the day, we still want to keep, not just each other healthy, but our families healthy. So if that's test every day, if that's wearing a mask pretty much everywhere and anywhere, no matter if you're 6 feet apart, whatever it is, wearing a mask. If it's, if you're playing in a certain city, you have to wear the mask on the sideline. There's no, away games. You don't really get to see anybody but your teammates. So you're pretty much just kind of just, alone with your team. So just all the different protocols we have to go through on a daily basis, just if it's remember your contact tracer, it's so many different protocols we have to go through on a daily basis. It might seem simple, but once you add them all up, it's quite the juggle.
Right. Yeah. It's an extra thing to sort of have to be cognizant of. And what's it like in the locker room? Like, are guys like, yes, this is the checklist I have to do, or some guys kind of just annoyed, like, oh, what is this? Like, why do I have to do this?
At first it was difficult just because, we're not used to, all the different things we have to do now. But especially now, I think we just got, adjusted to it. We got comfortable with doing what we have to do. And it just became the new norm. If it's just 6 feet apart, you might joke about it. You might joke, you might be serious, whatever it is, but you just got to get that point across. Whatever it is, you kind of just, it's the norm now. So we kind of got comfortable just handling it the right way. Yeah,
you don't want to be the guy that's the weakest link that sort of causes the pop-ups on your phone every morning that we see. Now, earlier this year, you were on the COVID list. Tell me, like, what happened? Like, why did that come about?
I think beginning of the year, I tested positive. So you basically, as soon as you test positive, you're done with everything. You don't move, you don't come to the facility, you don't do anything. So I remember I tested positive, and our medical staff, everybody over there at the facility, they dropped off food for me. They dropped off supplies for me. They pretty much did everything I needed to do. Everything I needed, they just dropped it off and made sure I could just stay in the house and just get healthy. Luckily, it was very quick. So you get tested every day still. You have to pass a certain amount of days, basically testing negative. And once I got through all of that, I was back normal. But at first it's scary just because you don't really know the virus. You don't really know what's happening. But our staff, our medical staff, they definitely took care of me, made sure I was all right. And I'm definitely grateful for that.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear that you have recovered, and you can certainly see it on the field. So tell me, what did it feel like when you had COVID? Like, I haven't had it before. Like, what's it feel like?
Yeah, so I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't feel different. I didn't have a fever. I didn't have anything. It was just a, positive test. So they just take the precautions and just listen to what they tell you to do, and that's what I did. For me, I just want to make sure everybody else is healthy around me. I felt fine, but just because I felt good don't mean it won't affect somebody else differently. So for me, that's just how I approached it. I just want to keep everybody else safe. I was fine, so that was just the approach I had.
Well, that's great because yes, as many people, some people don't understand that very important point, but that you don't want to infect someone else around you that might not be able to handle it like an immune system like yours has been able to. We have to go to a break in a second, but just very quickly, what would be maybe your message to other people about dealing with this, because you've been through it? Now you're on the other side, but just to make sure that we kind of take it seriously.
For me, the message is it's not just about you. It's not just about, the people you love, but it's people, around the world, just people in general. So if that's wearing your mask wherever you go, if that's staying 6 feet apart, do it for everybody else. You might think you're fine, but you never know how that might affect somebody else. So just do the right thing. Yes, it's difficult at times, but you can definitely push through it, and just stay healthy, wash your hands, boost your immune system the healthy way, and just stay safe as best as you can.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that advice and those words, because I think a lot of people still need to hear it these days. We've got to take a quick time out here on Drinks with Binks, but we've got Jerome Baker from the Miami Dolphins, and we are sipping on a little H2O. We'll be back in just a second. Hey guys, welcome back to Drinks with Binks. I'm Julie Stewart-Binks, and we've got Jerome Baker from the Miami Dolphins. And you guys have had a big week already, just microwaving the Jets on the weekend. And of course, big news today. We are recording this on a Tuesday, and we've learned that quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is going to be the starter for the Dolphins. We saw him get some time in that Jets game. What was the reaction? How did you find out about this today?
So for me, I was on Instagram. I think I saw it on one of the sports, pages. As soon as I read it, it was, I kind of text everybody just to confirm it. And the next person I text was Tua. Just watching him these past few weeks, these past few months, you're just so proud of him. Just how he carried himself, how he practiced, how he go about learning, how he asks questions, not just questions on the offensive end, but defensive players, how he works. You just happy for guys like that to get the opportunity, and he's definitely going to do well. I'm definitely proud of him. I'm confident in him, so I'm happy just to see what we have next.
Right. I mean, his story is remarkable, the comeback and sort of the images of him on the field after the game. You really felt it as he had been at the top, and then, of course, just had that awful injury that was almost a year ago next week. But you guys are 3-3 right now, and Ryan Fitzpatrick has done a really great job, and so is the O-line. What's sort of the sentiment in the idea that we've had this quarterback doing a very good job with us? We have another great quarterback, but why now?
I don't know exactly why it would be right now.
I mean, sort of not as I know you're not Brian Flores, but like, what's sort of the sentiment amongst the team of sort of just about the change, like the group texts?
Yeah, I think it's just it was coming eventually. Right now, we're sitting at 3-3. We're playing better as a defense. Our O-line is doing what they have to do. Miles is running the ball. Parker is, doing Parker things. He's catching everything his way. Preston is doing his thing. I think it's just as a team overall, we're going the right direction. If anybody in our facility, if you watch Tua at practice, he slings it. He gets the job done, and we all confident in him. So I think right now we're just sitting at even. Our defense is playing well. We all playing together as a team. I think the question is why not now? It was one of those things. So I'm excited. I'm really excited just to see him really flourish and come into his own, and I'm definitely confident in him.
Yeah, and on that note, when you said why not now, to those the broadcasters out there, the talking heads that sort of question this and wonder, why would this happen at this point? What's something that we don't see about Tua that would be the reason why he's getting the reins right now?
I mean, he does it all, not just physically on the field, but his mental capacity, how he handles the game it's remarkable just to see. Remarkable as a rookie, just to see that. I remember when he first came in. We're going through the practices and we're throwing a lot of different looks, a lot of different blitzes at him. And instead of just, most guys going to a shell and, hang their hat and, question themselves, he stepped up and he handled the right way. He, made some mistakes. He did what he had to do, take some bumps. But the one thing that really surprised me at the end of practice, I remember I was walking back and he just ran out on the field. I'm pretty much always the last one. So he ran out on the field late. He was like, "Babe, can I ask you something?" We really not as close. We wasn't talking that much. He was still new. And he just started asking me questions like, what could I see in this? What are you guys are doing? He started asking so many good questions. It was like, oh, you really are, you're above average. You're not just cool with just being average. So, nobody's surprised in the facility. Nobody's really surprised at all. So I'm happy for him, and I'm definitely excited to see him
Right. And speaking of above average, your defense has been lights out, pitching a perfect game. And the first of 2020, what is it about this group that's made it unique to have this kind of dominance?
I think we're, just establishing our identity as a defense. We definitely had some new pieces. We had some new guys come in. We have some young guys. We're definitely a young team still. But the one thing we have is we're all hungry. We all want just to do well, and we all want to see each other do well. So just like if I make a play, I know Kyle is rooting for me or E-Rob is rooting for me. So it's just the way we have it. Just you want to see everybody else do well, but you also want to do well yourself. You don't want to let your guys down. And as a defense, we're coming to our own, and we're just really just taking the right steps on a day-to-day basis of just becoming the best defense.
When you're on defense, is there a quarterback that you see in the league that you're like is sort of as if you were a bull and there's like a red flag, like that you're like, I gotta go after that guy right now? Is there someone that sort of like really gets you going?
I think the one quarterback I think we all just love watching is Mahomes. He's one of those quarterbacks of he's a competitor. He makes the throws. If it's flashy, if it's underhand, if it's overhand, whatever it is, he just gets the job done. So when I see quarterbacks like that, I really get excited playing guys like that. Another one is Lamar. He's one guy coming into the league. I was rooting for him, honestly. I wanted him to do well, just, not against us. So, those two guys, they're definitely at the top of the league. I mean, there's some great quarterbacks out there. So, but them two is definitely my favorite. Those are guys that get me going.
So then, championship game, let's put a situation out there. Let's say it's, you and Mahomes. What is it? Like, what would you do? You don't want him to have this incredible game and all these highlight reels. What's Jerome Baker? You're seeing each other in December. What are you doing? What do you got going on?
For me with him, you can't let him get comfortable. He's one of those guys, if you let him get comfortable, you let him get so much confidence in the pocket. He's not under pressure or anything. He's a guy that would just tear you apart. So for me, on that game, I'm throwing different looks at him. I'm making him feel, our presence as a defense. We're running to the ball. We're in his face every throw. Everything he gets, he has to earn it. It has to be a great catch, has to be a great throw, whatever it is. We just really making everything he does hard. So that would be my game plan.
Okay, we got to take a timeout. We'll be back with a whole lot more with Jerome Baker from the Miami Dolphins. Don't go anywhere. This is Drinks with Binks. Hey guys, welcome back to Drinks with Binks. I'm Julie Stewart-Binks. We've got Jerome Baker here from the Miami Dolphins, who's on bye week. And before we move on to some other stuff, just got to ask you, you guys are 3-3. What kind of grade would you give the Dolphins right now? You're back in school. You're the teacher. What letter do we have?
I would say a C plus or something like that.
That's quite low, I feel.
Yeah, we had some bumps and bruises. We had some losses, but we had some great victories. So I kind of put it in that middle pack of C plus. We're moving in the right direction, but we're still not, we're not there yet. So that's a grade I give.
Yeah, you're very close to a B minus, which then just like mentally changes everything. Another team, your former school, Ohio State Buckeyes, are going to be back in action as the Big Ten kicks off finally this weekend, and a meeting with Michigan. You know this rivalry well. How would you describe, in one word, how you feel about Michigan?
If I had to choose one word to describe the team up north, I would say terrible. It's just one of those rivalries of you just don't like them. You don't. every year, just that's the game. You have to win that game. You can do whatever, win however many games you want, but that game is the most meaningful game. It's more than bragging rights. It's everything you work for. Off season, we train for that game. How we just go about everything. We train for that game. That's the game. So, going to Ohio State, you learn to. It really just puts in perspective of, you really work hard for something, even if it's one game. You want to dominate it, and you want to let it be known that we're the better team. So I love that rivalry, but that team up north is still terrible.
Yes, I noticed that you didn't say the school name. How come?
That's just our thing. We don't say them, and they don't say us. We don't like them. They don't like us. Whatever you want to do it, but when it comes down to it, I'm undefeated against them. So. Go Bucks.
We don't have a whole lot of time left, but this is a conference that has had to wait for, a couple weeks since for the most part, most other conferences have gotten going. If that was you, obviously we understand that these are decisions being made above and beyond based on health protocols. But what would it feel like sitting there and watching other teams and schools and rivals and them being ranked, and you can't even get on the field in a game yet?
I think the one thing for me, I would, feed off of it. I would feed off of it to the point of I'm antsy. I can't sleep at night. I'm looking at whoever is playing on Saturdays and just knowing I should be out there. You have that chip on your shoulder of, I can't wait to get out there and, prove the country that, Ohio State is the best, school in the country. So I know those guys already. I know how Coach Mick, I know how, Coach Day gets those guys going. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see those guys play and ultimately have fun and win a lot of games.
Awesome. Yeah, it'll be great to see them on the field, and we'll have to see how Justin Fields looks this year because we're all anticipating him to have a big season. We've got to take our final time out, but we will out. That sounded so Canadian. I've tried to get rid of my Canadian accent. We'll take our final time out here on the program, and we'll have a whole lot more with Jerome Baker after this. Guys, we've had an awesome time hydrating here on Drinks with Binks, which is great. We got to do that. And Jerome Baker, where can we find more of what you're working on and what you're doing?
You can find me on pretty much any social media. My handle is always the same, last name _Baker. So yeah, just you can find me anywhere. And
of course, to keep in line with hydrating and staying fit, where can we find the B1 patch?
Yeah, so you can go to the website, buy B1, use the promo code JB55, get a little discount, and also just stay healthy and just continue to get better with everything you do. Awesome.
Okay, this has been like a very empowering Drinks with Binks for your health. No booze, all health here on the show here today, because that's what we got to do. We got to keep healthy during this time. Thank you so much, Jerome, for being with us here today. Good luck with the rest of the season. Can't wait to see how you guys do with your new quarterback that is starting, Tua Tagovailoa, in week 8. That's it for us here on Drinks with Binks. Make sure you follow us on all social channels at Fubo Sports, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And make sure you download this podcast, listen to it again, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your pods. And until next time, bottoms up, bitches.